As a manifestation coach, one of the questions that I get a lot is how to keep going when you don't have evidence that your manifestation is actually working. And this is honestly a really valid question, because why would we keep doing something when we don't see that it's working? A lot of people say that, the definition of insanity is to keep doing something over and over and expecting to get a different result. And if you have told yourself the result is 0, the result is it's not happening, the result is it didn't work, then your next logical question is, well, why do I keep trying? Why don't I just give up on this? Now, the thing that we need to recognize here is that you have decided that you don't have evidence. And what I teach my clients to do is they have to actually go out and build the evidence. The evidence is not just going to fall in front of your face. Does this make sense? Like, you have to actually be willing to take out a sheet of paper, take out the notes app on your phone, pull up some space where you can write down things, and write down tiny bits of incremental progress that you have seen since you started your manifestation process. And this could be internal changes or external changes. And so a lot of people get tripped up because they're looking for the whole manifestation. And then on top of that, they're giving themselves this time limit of it has to happen by tomorrow. It has to happen in the next 24 hours. And those this is another thing, but those people online who are telling you, do this thing to manifest $1 million in 24 hours. Let all of that go. Let that go. Take a deep breath. Let it go. Reset. I'm going to tell you what to write down. I'm not going to get caught up in my emotions, which is literally, that drives me wild. But we're here to focus. We're here to learn. So get out a piece of paper or the notes app on your phone or a Google Doc or whatever, but somewhere where you can write. And write down little bits of incremental progress that your manifestation is coming together. And then at the end of this video, I will talk to you about time frames, because time frames are a big reason why people get tripped up and why people start to tell themselves it's not working. So we'll talk about that in a second. But right now, incremental progress and some prompts for you. Do I feel differently? Do I feel any better? Do I feel like I've gotten any closer to being the person I need to be in order to have this thing? Because that's something people don't realize too. When you manifest something, it's not just bloop, let's just plop this thing into your life. It's let's prepare you to be the version of yourself who can actually have and hold this new reality. And so if you're manifesting a partner, what you're actually asking for is going on that journey of becoming the version of you who can be in a healthy, committed partnership. And chances are you're not there yet. And that's okay. I'm not there yet either. But what you need to do is be willing to transform internally so that you can be that version of you who is actually able to have and maintain a partnership. And so what you would write down in that case is, these are the ways I'm seeing myself make progress on becoming better at relationships. These are the things I'm noticing in my relationships with my friends, where I'm showing up differently, where I'm being a better listener, where I'm holding space, where I'm not, just dumping on people and just expecting them to carry all my emotions, whatever it might be for you. But how are you transforming into the version of you who can have and hold whatever it is that you are manifesting? And if you're sitting here trying to write stuff and you're I can't come up with anything, I don't think I have transformed in any way whatsoever, then your work is to let yourself actually be honest about what is the gap between the version of me that can have and hold. We're using romance here, but you can fill in your manifestation. The version of me that can have and hold a partner, the version of me that can have and hold money, the version of me that can have and hold 10 clients instead of 5, whatever it is that you're manifesting. What is the difference between that version and me right now? What are the qualities that that version of me has? And what are the qualities that I have? And where do I need to make a shift? And then you need to go on your journey of actually changing into the new version of you before you start to get mad at the universe that the universe didn't give you something that you're not even really prepared to have. And this happens with me a lot. Whenever I'm like, I want to call in more clients, the universe starts pointing out all the ways that I need to up-level my boundaries, my capacity to hold space, because the work I do as a coach is I'm holding emotional space for people to go on their own transformation, right? So the universe will start to show me, God will start to show me, this is where you don't yet have the capacity to hold another client. And so if you want another client, you got to clean these things up. If you want another client, you have to change in order to become that version of you who can have space for that client. And so that's what the universe does with me. That's what the universe does with you too. And so God is going to start talking to you and telling you, okay, you're saying that you want more money. Look at your money management today. If you 10x'd the amount of money that you had, or even 5x'd or doubled the amount of money that you have, whatever challenge you're facing in your current money management skills would double with you. It would grow and expand as well. And mismanaging, $20,000 is one thing, but mismanaging $200,000 is a lot. And so you need to get better, likely, at managing your money. And so these are all just examples to say, what do you need to actually change within yourself so that you can be the version of you who can have the manifestation? And if you are noticing those changes, write those down. If you're not noticing them, you know what to do. And then the external shifts that you're noticing. So is there anything happening, whether it is very small or not, that indicates to you that your manifestation is coming together, that it is in progress, right? So this isn't about the whole thing has happened. This is something is going differently. We're moving in a positive direction. And so this is going to be very personal for you, depending on your journey and your circumstances and where you are now versus what you're manifesting. But you need to be able to look and see, what is the incremental progress that tells me that I'm on the right track, that tells me that this thing is coming together. And be willing to notice and celebrate any small thing. Like, nothing is too small, but what we're doing is we're training the brain to believe that it's working, and we're training the brain to relax and to not freak out and to be expansive and open-minded about the process. And so make a note of the internal things, make a note of the external things. That piece of paper or that note on your phone, whatever it is that you do, will anchor you in the moments where you want to give up. And when you feel like giving up, because this happens along the way, less and less with time, but especially in the beginning, this could happen on a daily basis, right? When you feel like giving up, go to that piece of paper, read it over, and then add things to it. And your goal should be to add a couple things to it every single day, like 1 to 3 things every single day, to ground yourself in, no, this is working, I'm not going to give up. This is working, I'm not going to give up. Because as long as you believe it's not working, it will feel very logical to give up. But the truth is, it is working. You just have to be willing to see that it's working. And you have to train yourself to notice those small incremental shifts, both within you and around you. And then again, being willing to do the work to become a new version of yourself. And as we're talking about your future self, I also want to let you know that I recorded a free future self meditation, and that helps you get very clear on who your future self is, what they do and how they are and how they're different from you today. And there's also a space for you to practice having a conversation with your future self and getting advice from your future self. Because building a relationship with the version of you that already has what you want is the fastest way to collapse time and actually become the version of you that actually has what you want. And so give yourself a chance to go on that journey. The meditation is down below. That's really going to help you in terms of actually seeing and understanding this is who I need to become, and then getting that advice from the version of you who knows how to do it because they've done it already. Like, that is going to make a huge difference in your manifestation process. And so before I close the video, let's talk about time. Time frames can be used against yourself in your manifestation process, especially if you are new to it or skeptical of it. When you give yourself a deadline, you almost give yourself an excuse to give up, Because if it doesn't happen, let's say you're like, I want to manifest $10,000 by tomorrow. And if it doesn't happen by tomorrow, it's so easy for your brain to just say, oop, well, it doesn't work, it didn't work, it's not my thing, I can't do it. And instead of saying it needs to happen by tomorrow, or even it needs to happen this year, can you give yourself the grace to say, I know this is meant for me, and I am going to move towards it no matter how long it takes. Because when you get to that space, you're not gripping so tight, you're not like desperate for it. You give the universe, you give God space to actually take you on that journey of becoming that new version of you who can have it. Because that's really the most important thing. In the same way that you wouldn't give car keys to a 10-year-old, you wouldn't just drop a new situation on someone who can't really handle it. And so there is going to need to be a process that you go through, especially depending on what this manifestation is. You need to change, you need to evolve, you need to expand in certain ways, and you need to give yourself the self-compassion and the patience to be able to really do that. And when you set yourself a strict deadline, you rob yourself of the opportunity to actually go on the journey of getting the thing you want. Because it is going to be a process, it is going to be a journey, there is going to be transformation involved. And so manifesting with a deadline is a lot more advanced than people realize, and it's not something that I would recommend if you are constantly going back and forth in your brain about whether or not you're going to give up on your manifestations. It's just not worth it. If you're in a situation where you really need something by tomorrow, then manifesting it is likely not the best step for you. You likely need to use a process that you already believe in to get something by tomorrow. And then when you have something that is bigger, like you can see my vision board back there, that's like a 3-year vision board. And of course I'm open for things to happen, sooner. But the things I put on that vision board are things that I am committed to no matter how long they take. I'm not checking my calendar like, oh my God, it's April. Where are those things? I know that I'm becoming the version of myself that has those things, and I'm giving myself really infinite time, but I like to think about it as 3 years because that gives me some kind of tangible, momentum. But I'm going to be manifesting those things because those are things that matter to me. If you have a vision that you're really aligned to, that feels like it came from your soul, that matters to you, you will be willing to go on that journey no matter how long it takes. And if there's something that you're only willing to manifest for like 3 months or whatever it might be, for like a finite period of time, check in with yourself and make sure it's what you actually want. Because if you want it and you really deeply want it, the time frame won't even matter. Because you'll just be so excited to be evolving into the version of you who has that thing. And that is the healthiest headspace to be in when you are practicing manifestation. So don't give up. Download my future self meditation. Have conversations with your future self every single day about this. Let your future self reprogram you and calm your nerves about this. Make your list of incremental progress, internal and external. Know who you need to become in order to bring that manifestation to life, and focus on becoming that next version of you. And above all else, you've got this.